Sally Van Allen, chair of this year's Gather and Give, and here is Good Friends by the Numbers.
$5 million. Over $5 million has been raised since our first luncheon in 1987, and 100% of the funds have been reinvested back into our community.
4. Good Friends was founded by 4 wonderful women in 1987.
30,000. 30,000 women have attended a Good Friends luncheon in the past 33 years.
3,258. Good Friends has received 3,258 requests for assistance this year.
3,000 families and children have been helped this year through Good Friends.
160 families gained access to the internet because of Good Friends support for remote learning.
150 families are receiving utility assistance with gas, water, and electric.
100 adults and children received assistance with medical bills this year.
32 veterans and families are receiving hot meals daily from Good Friends.
218 life members of Good Friends Charlotte.
$416 is the average assistance given to each client to make the difference between fragility and stability.
100 calls are received daily for assistance at Good Friends.
330 children have received car seats, formula, and diapers from Good Friends this year.
I'm Sally Van Allen, chair of this year's Gather and Give, and here is Good Friends by the Numbers.
$5 million. Over $5 million has been raised since our first luncheon in 1987, and 100% of the funds have been reinvested back into our community.
4. Good Friends was founded by 4 wonderful women in 1987.
30,000. 30,000 women have attended a Good Friends Luncheon in the past 33 years.
3,258. Good Friends has received 3,258 requests for assistance this year.
3,000 families and children have been helped this year through Good Friends.
160 families gained access to the internet because of Good Friends support for remote learning.
150 families are receiving utility assistance with gas, water, and electric.
100 adults and children received assistance with medical bills this year.
32 veterans and families are receiving hot meals daily from Good Friends.
218 life members of Good Friends Charlotte.
416. $416 is the average assistance given to each client to make the difference between fragility and stability.
100 calls are received daily for assistance at Good Friends.
330 children have received car seats, formula, and diapers from Good Friends this year.
I'm Sally Van Allen, chair of this year's Gather and Give, and here is Good Friends by the Numbers.
Over $5 million has been raised since our first luncheon in 1987, and 100% of the funds have been reinvested back into our community.
4. Good Friends was founded by 4 wonderful women in 1987.
30,000 women have attended a Good Friends Luncheon in the past 33 years.
3,258. Good Friends has received 3,258 requests for assistance this year. 3,000 families and children have been helped this year through Good Friends.
160 families gained access to the internet because of Good Friends support for remote learning.
150 families are receiving utility assistance with gas, water, and electric.
100 adults and children received assistance with medical bills this year.
32 veterans and families are receiving hot meals daily from Good Friends.
218 life members of Good Friends Charlotte.
$416 is the average assistance given to each client to make the difference between fragility and stability.
100 calls are received daily for assistance at Good Friends.
330 children have received car seats, formula, and diapers from Good Friends this year.
I'm Sally Van Allen, chair of this year's Gather and Give, and here is Good Friends by the Numbers.
Over $5 million has been raised since our first luncheon in 1987, and 100% of the funds have been reinvested back into our community.
4. Good Friends was founded by 4 wonderful women in 1987.
30,000 women have attended a Good Friends luncheon in the past 33 years.
3,258. Good Friends has received 3,258 requests for assistance this year.
3,000 families and children have been helped this year through Good Friends.
160 families gained access to the internet because of Good Friends support for remote learning.
150 families are receiving utility assistance with gas, water, and electric.
100 adults and children received assistance with medical bills this year.
32 32 veterans and families are receiving Hot Meals Daily from Good Friends.
218 life members of Good Friends Charlotte.
$416 is the average assistance given to each client to make the difference between fragility and stability.
100 calls are received daily for assistance at Good Friends.
330 children have received car seats, formula, and diapers from Good Friends this year.
Welcome to the 34th Annual Good Friends event and the first virtual Gather and Give. 2020 has been a year unlike any other. I hoped we would all be together in person, but I'm thrilled we are together now. For those of you on our event page, I hope you'll use the chat feature to say hello to your friends and neighbors. While 2020 means that our annual gathering looks a bit different, the tradition of Good Friends remains the same, and this year, the need in our community has grown. There have been many bright spots, like the families who have championed Good Friends over the years coming together once again to donate to our community. I'm part of a family that believes in the ability of Good Friends to drastically change the lives of those we help with a contribution. I am a third-generation Good Friends member. My grandmother first invited me and my mother to her table in 2006, and I was immediately inspired to become a member and now a life member of this incredible organization. Over the years, I added my friends to our tables, and our circle continued to expand. And yet I remain in awe each year of the power of women to do a tremendous amount of good with a collective force of giving. Today, you will hear how Good Friends makes a difference for so many families. Families who have hit a tough time and don't have the safety nets that many of us watching may take for granted. Families who on average receive $416 from Good Friends. This relatively small amount of money can prevent a family's life from spiraling out of control. Over the course of our Gather and Give event and beyond, I invite you to make a contribution to Charlotte's future. I invite you to join our Good Friends family.
Got all this and everything.
11, Mark.
I give because it's amazing to me how a small contribution to these friends and families and people in need can go such a long way and can make such an impact.
I guess my giving was instilled in me by my parents from day one.
I give because people have given to me. It's been a part of my family heritage to give back. And I give because I want that heritage and legacy to continue with my children and my grandchildren.
I give because I don't know of a better organization to inspire hope and improve people's lives.
I give because I've grown up in a family that has given, and I have attended Good Friends luncheons for the past 4 years, and I've seen the impact that Good Friends makes on this community and the city, and I would like to continue that trend.
I give because Good Friends is such a collective giving unit. It has been a pleasure to be part of something where we all come together, and we really have been able to make a big difference in a lot of lives in so many ways that people like me never would have really realized.
I think part of my motivation is, if you take a moment to just step back and think, if it were me, and what would I want? What kind of help would I need? I think one of the beauties of Good Friends is we're able to help individuals in ways that a lot of our bigger nonprofits or our social organizations within the city are not able to take care of individuals.
The need is now, the need is great. Today you will hear incredible stories of resilience, moments of impact, and how a small amount of money can both make or break working families. This year, more than ever, many in the Charlotte community have had these moments. Moments of this can't be happening, moments of what do I do? Good Friends was founded by 4 women who saw these moments happening in Charlotte, where a surprise medical bill, a family crisis, an unexpected car issue became the moment in which a family went from making it to being broken. 34 years ago, these 4 incredible women asked their good friends to gather and give to a cause they named Good Friends. Every year since, we have gathered and given. This year, the need is bigger than ever. 100% of the funds raised today will go back into the community so that your giving will have a direct impact on the lives of those in need in Charlotte. I'm so proud to be president of Good Friends. This year has certainly had moments that I'd mentioned, but with the moments of challenge, there have been moments of joy. What a moment of joy when Wells Fargo called and said they would be Good Friends presenting sponsor for the 12th consecutive year. Wells Fargo has been an unbelievable friend and amazing partner to Good Friends. Thank you. Thank you to Lending Tree, who joined this year as a founding sponsor for the first time. And a sincere thanks to 4 wonderful families. As Sally Van Allen, our lunch chair, exemplifies, great families make great friends. This year, 4 families, the Bissell family, the Dowd Foundation, the O.H. Rankin Family Foundation, and the Woolen family stepped in to be generous supporters as founding friends in honor of our 4 founding members. Thank you. Good Friends has been fortunate to have many very generous sponsors. Thank you. Today's program and community efforts all throughout the year would not be possible without your generosity. Finally, I would like to thank Sally Van Allen, our luncheon chair, and Maren Bingle, our incoming luncheon chair. They truly embody the spirit of Good Friends. They accepted the challenge of creating a new virtual event literally from scratch with grace, creativity, passion for Good Friends, and joy. A special thanks as well to our distribution coordinator, the unseen Good Friends angel serving the neighbors in need. Now, as you enjoy today's program, I hope your heart too will be filled with joy. Now is the moment. The need is now, and the need is great.
This year has been a year of first, but not a year of lasts. Good Friends receives nearly 100 calls a day for assistance, and yet this year, small needs doubled. The outpouring of calls and referrals from our 80 partners came in, and suddenly, we were the organization standing in front of the storm of a pandemic. Good Friends has helped with many, many basic needs this year, from utilities to medical expenses to newborn supplies. But the story from this year that really stands out and shows the essence of Good Friends starts this way. We were all watching and waiting to see what might happen with our schools this fall. The plan kept changing. However, what we didn't realize was that over 10,000 children did not have internet access, and when the schools didn't return to their classrooms, these children had no ability to learn remotely. This situation was crucial, serious, and immediate.
Coming back to school, knowing that we would be in full remote all summer, we kind of knew that this was happening, and unfortunately, we were still left without our learners having access to log on in order to continue the work that they need to do, right, to be successful. And I reached out to the district, and the district said, we're working on a plan. We have things in place. We're working. And unfortunately, they were not able to get us what we needed at that time.
So when we first were, in the pandemic, obviously, we started school, and so many of our kids were in need of internet. And without being connected, we're unable to really learn.
My children, Kamaya and LaPrince, they have been going to Windsor Park Elementary for about 3 years now total. It was a very, very big hit just to, I guess, have to change your daily routine altogether.
So we were able to hand out, we had the iPads and we had the Chromebooks, and we were able to get those out to all of our learners. The hardest part with that was we had to highlight names of learners who didn't have internet at home. So we had this orange highlighter, and we just kept highlighting down the row, and we'd let them know, here's this brand new iPad, but you can't use it at home yet.
This is happening not just at Windsor Park, but all over the district, and that really needed to be addressed. There was a whole bunch of people working together, but it couldn't just be like one small person donation. We needed bigger support.
Good Friends donated funds to provide internet hotspots to Windsor Park and Hidden Valley elementary schools so that these students could safely continue learning.
We were waiting, and this is 30 days in to school, and Good Friends came in and saved the day.
With Good Friends Charlotte being able to give that big donation to our school and it really impacted not just us, but it impacted all of CMS, which is really wonderful. And right after that donation came in, it was within a couple days that we actually got the hotspots.
I personally have to have it for my children because of the work that I do. I can't always be at home and I don't always have internet. So at the end of the day, for them to even give that as an option is awesome.
We love Good Friends, and they have provided stability for our students to be able to have like equity, you know, on the other side of the tracks. They don't have to worry about that, but our students are able to get those same opportunities, and we can try to begin to level out that equity problem within, you know, our school.
The impact has been felt far and wide as 160 families from multiple schools gained access to the internet due to Good Friends donation.
The legacy of the support that Good Friends gave to me was a light, right? It was a light in the middle of darkness for many of our families and our learners. And I don't think learners or our families will ever forget because the light was shining, right? And the light only was able to shine because of Good Friends. And I think that's the takeaway.
Thank you to our good friend Gigi Dixon of Wells Fargo, and thank you to the staff and families of Windsor Park Elementary for sharing the impact of Good Friends on their lives. Now, let's welcome Vicki Michener to share our next story.
Here at Good Friends, we hear needs. They could be large, they could be small, but we come in and just work with the clients to fill those gaps that will allow them to achieve their goals.
The best thing about Good Friends is that we have the ability to be dynamic and responsive, especially at times like we're living today, where a client may have gone to every other organization in town and we are the last house on the block. And we have a mission that allows us to fill in those cracks and to get them to that next phase.
I moved to town when I was about 27, and I found myself at Good Friends and saw a whole army of women of all different ages, and it just felt so good, the teamwork aspect of it and just the joy and giving. It was something that I really, really liked, and I really wanted to do again. So here I am, 22 years later.
That is our model. The 4 women who founded Good Friends invited their friends to lunch, and their friends gave. And now, 34 years later, one by one, we gather, we give, we see needs, and collectively we help.
In March 2020, all of our lives changed. The pandemic caused ripples of fear and frustration throughout our community and world. It showed us the fragility of our systems, which were already overwhelmed. Many organizations where clients were waiting for much needed help had to close their lobbies. Not Good Friends. Good Friends adapted quickly to serve our neighbors and extend help to those experiencing difficulties during the pandemic. We expanded from providing rent and utilities to also supporting those living in motels during the pandemic. Housing and food are two of the most basic needs and concerns for many working families. Deja is one of the recipients of Good Friends Housing Grant. Due to the pandemic, Deja had her work hours cut and her spouse was furloughed. Things continued to get worse until she was struggling to pay her rent and take care of her 3 children. Her Year Up mentor, Ms. Thomas, reached out to 3 agencies for help, and they all turned her down because Deja didn't meet the tight criteria.
So Deja is a student that I met through the Year Up program.
I came into the program upbeat, energetic, ready to work, ready to learn, of course with COVID, and it was kind of difficult to navigate that experience and then also make sure that, you know, while I'm taking advantage of this program, to make sure I keep up my bills and just my livelihood and my children's livelihood.
We were all impacted financially. People lost their jobs and all of that.
I had to really dig deep. Find a way to problem solve no matter what happened, and not be afraid to ask for help.
One of the best parts of our model is the nimbleness and flexibility to help. We are literally the good friends who step in when life gets tough. Ms. Thomas reached out to Good Friends, who helped with rent and kept Deja and her family from eviction.
We were able to get her the assistance that she needed, and as soon as we get her that, there she goes again, you know, shining, and every week we get amazing reports of this student. I'm just incredibly proud of her.
When Good Friends stepped in to help me, it literally took a weight off my shoulders. Having a community that you know that is going to back you and support you and make sure that you are set up for success, it kind of adds an extra layer of motivation, and it just makes you even more determined. You have to be willing to say, hey, I can't do this by myself. I need help. I need support.
Good Friends steps in when life gets tough. This year, Good Friends has spent $130,000 on keeping families in safe shelter.
Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for investing in people like me.
Thank you to our good friend Vicki Michener of Dickens Michener. She is dedicated to combating the affordable housing crisis in our community through the Homeowners Impact Fund. Another special thank you to CPCC's Ms. Thomas and to Deja for sharing the impact of Good Friends on their lives.
The year that Velva Woolen was chair of Good Friends, she asked me to speak. I met a mom with her children, and I found out that one of her children went to school with my son. She talked about how she took 3 hours to get her children to school and work. I remember speaking with that mom and knowing that Good Friends were going to give her a car. It made changes in her life that she probably couldn't imagine.
The reason that we give back to our community is because of the great needs in our community.
Good Friends is a very important part of the community. Our community is so diverse, and our membership is so very diverse. We want to be a big player in our city.
You want to make sure that your dollars are going to the cause that you believe in. And that's something that Good Friends does very well. I think that's so important so that you feel that your dollars matter.
This is no normal year. There are so many who find themselves unemployed and facing numerous financial challenges. The need is greater than ever. Now is the time to not only continue your charitable giving, but to increase it. Our family is committed to being a good friend, and we encourage you to join us.
Well, if we aren't willing to be advocates for the people in our community that need our help, then who will? I mean,
It's just always been something, you know, I've kind of grown up with it, that, you know, you do what you can for people that are less fortunate than you are.
And we encourage you to join us.
I am a good friend.
I'm a good friend. I am a good friend.
And we want you to join us in being good friends.
This year, I give because the need is now and the need is great. I give because of the families we serve. Just like the good friends in our own lives, the organization called Good Friends will be here for our neighbors who need a helping hand. It is now your turn to give.
Our live event may be ending, but we hope you will share the joy of Good Friends with your friends on social media. Good Friends Day continues, and it's not too late to donate. Thank you for gathering. Thank you for giving. May the joy of this season be yours.